And we're live. Welcome, everyone, and hello to you, Mr. Huggy Bear. How are you doing this evening? Doing great. Excited to be here. Another exciting match. It's great that we can stream this again. We had so much fun doing the season 4 elimination rounds that it's great to have suddenly an opportunity to do it again. All right. Apparently, Huggy's volume is a little low. Let me go ahead and change that. Thank you for alerting us to that. And go ahead and say something else. And I'm apparently very hot. All right, Junkie, how's that sound? Good? Little to no improvement. Oh, he sounds so loud to me. It's amazing. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I'll do one more. I'll do one change. Let's see if it. Sometimes my microphone doesn't get picked up correctly. It was kind of screwy when we started, wasn't it? So let me double check it. Yeah, I thought so too. It's strange. All right, is that any better?
Is this any better? Can people hear me?
Gosh, you're clipping. You're so hot. It's better. Okay, brilliant.
Cool.
Okay,
Excellent.
a little too hot now. Yeah, that's what I figured. I'll change it. All right, back down to where you were. Okay, that should be better. Phew.
Sweet.
Okay, so let's go through these rosters before the match starts. What do you say?
Let's go through the roster. You could almost say.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do have some summary of all the different rosters that we're in. So we should explain to people that this is a 8-person invitational that Jacob Xavier Protocol set up to try out the Battle Realms format with the some of the best players that he could find. And basically, he looked at how everybody did in season 4 and some other events and came up with a system to kind of rank people and then pull the top 8 into this invitational. And so tonight we're going to be having Merzain from, I think, Alabama in the United States playing against Pat Dunford from London, which is where I'm at. And so we decided we're going to take a look at the two rosters that they put together before they start doing the banning and recruiting process that is the hallmark of the Battle Realm rule set. But we saw from Jacob put an article on his blog about everybody's rosters when they put them out, and remarkably they were quite similar to one another. Is that what you were alluding to?
That's exactly what I was alluding to.
Okay.
From what I can see, there are 3 cards in total that are different between these 2 rosters.
Yeah, you want to point them out, or maybe we should start with
Um,
what's similar. What is it that both of them have elected to go forward with?
do you want to go over
Yeah,
the cards? Yeah.
sure thing. So you're looking at Merzain's list right now, and you'll see there's Angela, Baron Zemo, Black Panther, Black Widow, Crystal, Enchantress, She-Hulk, Killmonger, Medusa, Okoye, Shuri, Taskmaster, Thor, Toad, and Valkyrie. So what this allows him to do is pivoted to Wakanda if he wanted to. He can also do Asgard with Thor as the leader, and finally A Force with She-Hulk. So lots of flexibility as to which direction he can go in terms of the affiliation.
Very classical trio with quite a few power pieces.
Yeah, and isn't Asgard and Wakanda a very common combination in a normal play?
You might say that because they have some very nice overlap. They like taking each other's characters. Asgard for sure likes Shuri and Okoye, and Wakanda are for sure subscribers of Angela and Valkyrie lately. So and also Enchantress. So for sure, there is some nice overlap in between those two. And A-Force just has such a wide roster that you can basically take any good character and it's gonna be in the A-Force roster.
Yeah, yeah, that's where I was going. Is that basically once you build the Asgard Wakandan list, it's just a couple of other characters that you toss in there, and suddenly you can pivot into A Force.
Yeah, and it's very nice to have three possible affiliations in the Battle Realm format because it gives you sort of redundancy for it gives you options even after the big ban step of step 4, where the opponent gets to ban 3 of your characters, which is usually the crucial point where you want to have either already secured your affiliation, your 3 affiliated characters and leader, or you want to have that many options that even 3 bans cannot stop you from constructing an affiliated team at the right points level.
Sure. So let's take a quick look then. So I'm conscious of the time to see how indeed it is different. I also noticed that Taskmaster is in here, so that gives them another easy way to kind of fill out a roster, which is a critical part when you come to these battle realms. I found in playing this is not only do you have to keep an eye on what affiliation you're taking and what characters you want in it, but also whether the point value that you're building with the pick and ban is actually going to get you to where the scenarios are. So this is looking at Pat Dunford's list. We have Enchantress, Black Widow, Black Panther. So Beast is a different item. Angela.
I was gonna say the biggest difference between these two rosters is that Pat sneakily has a 4th possible affiliation in his.
Which is the 4th now? I'm looking very quickly.
X-Men.
Oh, X-Men, right. There's Storm at the way bottom. There we go. Sure. So Shuri Okoye is the same, Medusa is the same, Killmonger is the same, She-Hulk, Valkyrie, Toad, Thor, Taskmaster. So Storm and Beast are the only 2 differences, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is my that is also my take on this.
Right. So yeah, as you said, that gives him the opportunity to go into 4 different 4 different affiliations. Does he have enough characters though for X-Men? So he's got Storm, Beast,
Taskmaster.
Oh sure, okay, sure. So he really would need that. He would really want that Storm affiliation if you.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying it's possible.
All right. Let's take a look at the crises. Now, this is another interesting. So folks at home, you get 15 characters. Ultimately, they're gonna recruit and ban so that each player has 8 left to choose from to build their roster up. And then the way that the crises work is each player picks 5, and so let's say Pat wins priority and he picks the extracts. He will then pick basically randomly, one of his extracts get picked and one of Merzain's extracts get picked, and then he can pick one of those 2 to actually play. And so the same thing on the secures. So there's it's quite odd insofar as is that you could be picking one that isn't actually in the 5 that you've chosen.
Mm-hmm.
So here,
well, not in this case because the 5 are exactly the same when it comes to extracts.
Okay.
So there's actually a 20% chance that you don't get to choose at all because you might actually get the same crises randomized from your opponent. Mm-hmm. So that you, for instance, get you have to pick between Spider Infected and Spider Infected.
Yes, very good point.
Yeah.
Very. Let's take a look then in the secures. Do we have any better luck on the secure side?
Here, one card differs in that Pat has gone with Infinity Formula and Merzain has Cosmic Invasion in that slot.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Can't really see what might be the difference there, except for maybe personal preference. You know, like I
suppose what one could see that both players have somewhat minimized the random numbers crises.
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
pay to roll one, like the Muted Madman and the Portma. They both have deadly meteors for sure, but that is a scenario which has a function for sort of countering a fast extract when you don't have priority.
Yes. But you make a good point about the time. The time, not time, the threat values, because that's what I found very quite difficult as I was building rosters once they get chosen. You have to be quite careful. And so I actually picked ones that were all very high, um, so that people could, that I could have the most flexibility. But I don't know how much of a good strategy that is.
I know from experience that Pat is has developed an incredibly sharp sense of quickly discovering what if there are bans he can make that prevents the opponent from building a team at the right points level. I think that Merzain's roster is well enough constructed that that will be difficult for him to do, but because he has enough threes and twos, basically. But in some situations where your opponent has sort of been a little too generous on the fours and fives, they can definitely be put in a rough spot by your opponent banning, for instance, all of your twos and an affiliated three, making it very difficult for you to, for instance, reach 17 exactly, if that's
Right.
what's being
Right.
played.
And so playing a point down is not uncommon, at least now in the early parts of the meta development of this. The other weird thing about these crises is, in the normal game, you're really, I don't know, I feel like you're building around the crises a lot. Like the characters come second. You pick the crises, you come up with a game plan. Here, because you have such a wide variety and you can't tell which one you're going to get, or in fact that you're going to get one of yours because well, I guess you could always pick one of yours, but nonetheless this is, I feel, throws that kind of strategy out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose that at least my take on the biggest difference between Battle Realm and regular play, so to speak,
Mm-hmm.
is that in Battle Realm is more about the skill of dealing with a situation that is just handed to you,
Mm-hmm.
because the crisis selection is close to random,
Mm-hmm.
and well, all you have influence over is basically the points value as a priority, a player with priority.
Mm-hmm.
And as we can see, there are a lot of 17s there, so there's a decent chance that there will be there actually won't be a choice, that the points level will be 17 or 17, and that means that different crises combinations open up for different affiliations, different characters, and I suppose that is the skill of the ban and recruit process to, as good as possible, adapt to the crisis situation.
Yeah.
Whereas in normal play, you can be more scripted, so to speak. You can have a plan for, like, okay, if this crisis is banned, I'm going to go with this. If this one's banned, I'm going to go with this. So you always have a plan for what's going to happen. Here, the combinations are so many that you have to just make it up as you go along sometimes.
I'm wondering also, if you take a look at it, there's a lot of 17s across the board here.
Mm-hmm.
And 17 is of course the most common of the numbers, but maybe that's the way to go, is that you just try to think about 17s when you're putting your characters together. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we've seen quite an extended period of time where 17 games with 17 points have been sort of the bread and butter of points values. I think we've seen a slight move away from that in the recent league, where either very low or very high points values have been more favored. Perhaps because that increases the chance of you being able to put your opponent on the spot if you discover a weakness in their roster construction. Here, I sort of think that it's about maintaining as much flexibility as possible.
Merzain's actually selection is broader than Pat's. Merzain's got in here a 20-point threat value, and he's got a 16 threat value. A bit broader. I wonder if he's thought that through.
That's true.
Or is it? Don't know.
I'm just realizing that maybe there is a difference between the extract, because I don't think Pat had alien ship. I might have taken
Alien ship. No, he didn't have that. Pat
no,
did not have
that's
this one.
true. That's true. So there is one card different there. So he has hammers, panic, spider infected, cubes, and one tessie. So the one that Merzain hasn't got is out of those is spider infected.
All right. Any final thoughts? Because Pat said he's setting up the room now.
Basically, you're going into this with an open mind. It will be interesting to see. At first sight, there is not much variety here. Maybe there will be from more variety that arise from the ban and recruit process. We will see. It for sure will be interesting to see how we summarize this invitational afterwards, and also the upcoming debate that you will be hosting. And this game is bound to add some data to that discussion, and I'm excited to see it play out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you for mentioning that, Huggy. We are going to interview the two players after the game is over in the first instance, but this Saturday at 9 p.m. London time, which is, I think, 4 p.m. Eastern time and 7 a.m. Sunday, or Sydney time, we are going to do a panel discussion. So we have a panel discussion with 4 distinguished players, so 2 of which are going to be more leaning on to the side of defending the Battle Realm format, and 2 that are more leaning towards defending with a more normal way to play, both on a competitive level and a casual level. So we invite everybody to that stream. That panel discussion will take place, as I said, this coming Saturday, 9 p.m. London time. So let me just turn off this capture for a second so I can log into the new server. So far, oh, there we are.
There we are.
I found it.
Now the whole world can see Pat's password.
No, I've turned off that part of the stream. I learned my lesson. I did it before, and I said, that's not so good. Here we go. Let me just get this loaded before I turn it back on. And we are in the room. Can you see it okay?
I can see it.
Okay, let me put it back up on the stream.
Doctor seems frozen.
Boop. Yeah,
I
do
suppose
see
that's
frozen.
you, Norbert.
Yeah, that is a little weird. My camera's been acting up today. Let me see if I can turn it on and off.
Have you tried restarting?
That's always the case, isn't it? At least the thing is working. The
Standard comment from the IT department.
yeah, exactly. Let's see if I can get this moving. I'm glad somebody noticed. I'm gonna be like, where is my? It was working before, which is a shame. Now it's not.
You're working on my end.
Oh yeah, yeah. It is. It is not going through for some reason, though. I can see that.
It'll be interesting to see the player's first pick, which is something that is because given the flexibility of 2 rosters, having 3 different affiliations with some overlap, actually allows for both players to not take a leader as their first pick. But instead focus on a character that is going to give them an advantage at the crisis at hand. Angela is a popular choice among players with priority, and even without priority on hammers. And Enchantress is also very popular. Some go with Okoye to guarantee the 2 costs, not having those banned at the infamous step 4.
How is it infamous?
The infamous step 4. It's the step where the opponent gets to ban 3 of your characters.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting.
So it's where they get to exploit any mistakes you have made. You may have made in your recruitment of your first 3 characters.
I'm having a lot of trouble with this camera. I'm not sure why it's not wanting to work. Very annoying. Very weird. All right. But you can see me at least.
I can.
Okay.
Which is really weird because that sort of says it's a software problem.
Yeah, it seems like a software problem. Sad. Try plugging it into a different outlet. Let's see.
I always dress this fancy nerdism. No, I think it's about respecting the task at hand and sort of mirroring imitating the vibe of a proper sports commentator. We're seeing some priority role here.
Okay, what do we got?
Hard to make out from this. Could you perhaps activate the stream overlay?
Yes.
But it looks like is Pat red or purple?
I will tell you. Pat
red player has priority.
Okay.
So Pat has priority.
Okay, and we are
by force of having more crits than the opponent, even though they both rolled 3 successes.
Okay. And we're looking at the red player now, so this is Pat's side. He has picked
Extracts.
And so we are playing Fear Grips Worthy at 18 points and Demons Downtown at 19 points.
I'm going to take a wild guess and say that Pat will choose Angela first. He loves his Angela.
Yeah, that could be. And she goes into different, 2 different affiliations.
For sure. And she is perfect on hammers.
All right, so we're on the recruiting phase, so Pat will need to do the first recruit since he won the priority roll.
Yes.
Also, for people who are not used to this format, you get to pick any tactics cards that you want after you finish putting your roster together.
Which makes it very, very deep. Some conversation between them. I'm quite certain that Pat knows exactly what he wants. Interestingly, this will be the exact same crisis combination on which Pat played in the TTS finals.
Oh,
Demons and
gosh.
Hammers.
So he knows it well, in other words.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wonder what they're talking about. I wanted to mention that we have the great AJP2 being the referee tonight. She's going to be the in-game table judge. And, looks like we might be getting some movement. You were right, Huggy. I think it's, yep, there you go, Angela.
And we'll see if Merzain chooses to mirror that. She is a character that is
Doesn't look like
much
it.
better with
Okoye! He picks Okoye. All right.
Yep.
Now.
Wanting that flexibility.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Having it too.
Sorry,
Whoa.
guys. Yeah, that's me. Sorry. I forgot. Now we have Pat dismissing one character.
Yep.
So Merzain's picked Okoye. Now Pat's going to remove. Oh, he doesn't like
likely a leader to stop one affiliation that he does not want to see.
Does not want to A4s, apparently. And, he does the same. So now Merzain gets to pick two characters. So She-Hulk's gone from both sides at this point. Nobody wants the She-Hulk.
He can take Panther and Shuri at this point to
make
have
Wakanda.
A full Wakanda.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what the points value they picked.
Yes, that is a good point. Let's see if I can get that.
Panther and Killmonger.
Panther and Killmonger.
It seems. So he has affiliated Wakanda, but that sort of indicates that to me that they're playing 19 points.
Why do you feel like that?
Because if normally you want to take Shuri over Killmonger, and that gives you a 9-point core of the team, but then you have to find 10 points worth of characters to reach 19, and that is much easier for Pat to prevent with bans at the step 4. Because there are fewer cost 5s in each roster.
He's picking Thor
and
Enchantress. So, and what was the first
Asgard
one? Asgard
versus
all the way
Wakanda,
yep.
As it looks.
Yeah.
And now for the infamous step 4.
Yeah. How many get dismissed?
The 3.
3.
Dismisses.
Right. Who does not Merzain want here? Medusa isn't a bad shout to get rid of, but which of these people are really gonna help him? How many points value? What are we up to so far?
Pat has 14 points here with Thor, Angela, and Enchantress, which is quite high.
They're playing 18, I've been told.
18, okay. So Pat is going to want a 4.
Valkyrie's going away. Medusa and Valkyrie.
Yeah, reducing the flexibility there.
And Okoye. All right. How does Merzain counter? Or how does Pat counter on Merzain's roster?
Mm-hmm. So Merzain now has a 10-point core. So he will want characters to take him to 18. Which means that if Pat removes enough 3s, it might be difficult, but he can also do... Yeah, he can do 2 4s, he can do 2 3s and a 2, and he can do a 5 and a 3.
This is Wakanda that we're talking about. Enchantress, good move to get rid of her on top of Wakanda. Surely Shuri's got to go, right?
Shuri might go. I could also see Thor going, maybe. or Medusa just because of her sheer damage output.
He's thinking about this. Nope, Thor.
Thor goes.
Why do you think Thor?
I think it's about just reducing as much flexibility as you can. Merzain still had a theoretical possibility of pivoting into Asgard with Thor, Valkyrie, and Taskmaster. Now Pat has effectively eliminated that possibility.
Okay. So he's taking Medusa.
Yeah.
And
Not a bad choice.
Taskmaster. Okay. Now Pat gets to recruit too.
That means at this point, Merzain has 17 points.
See, this is where it gets ugly.
Mm-hmm. Pat can easily pick 2 2s here to get a 5-wide 18-point team, should he like. Or take a 4-point to round out the team at 4-wide. They are playing demons, so that is a crisis where it's not necessarily better to go 5-wide, depending on the game plan. On these scenarios, I've found that going 4-wide on those usually cause you to be stretched out quite thin unless you can get a big lead on extracts.
Killmonger. He's taken Killmonger and Black Panther.
That basically means that he's opening up a Wakanda possibility, depending on upcoming bans.
All right, we're back over on Merzain's side. Pat's going to dismiss 2, I think, at this stage.
That is correct.
Black Widow goes probably for points value.
Merzain actually may be in some trouble here because now I'm having a hard time seeing him being able to get an 18-point.
Yeah, team. Exactly. That's what Pat did, was remove those 2-pointers.
Yeah.
Shuri goes.
Merzain could have prevented that by picking a 2 during the last stage.
All right, now we have Pat recruiting. He lost Shuri in that last banning.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he took Killmonger over Shuri.
He could take Storm to open up Wakanda, but it looks like he's going with the 2.
The 2s.
To open up the 5-wide Asgard with Thor, Angela, Enchantress, Widow, and Toad. So which is certainly not a bad team.
Merzain just took Baron Zemo, and Pat's now going to remove Valkyrie.
And
over here, I think it's just he's going to get rid of Storm. So like you said, no X-Men.
Yeah.
And that's it. There we are.
That's it. Maybe there's still a ban on Merzain's side.
Yeah. So here's what Pat... This is what Pat can choose. Angela, Beast, Black Panther, Black Widow, Enchantress, Killmonger, Thor, and Toad.
So not possible to construct an affiliated Wakanda roster.
Just lost it.
Yeah, and Merzain, from what I can recall, can only make an affiliated Wakanda roster at 17 points. Cannot make an affiliated roster at 18.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah. Smart bans by Pat.
Let me get AJ to have them make counters. Let's... All right. All right, everybody. I don't know, what do you think about that? I thought there were some significant exclusions made from each party. Some that I didn't quite understand, like Pat picked Killmonger ahead of Shuri, for instance. But again, you have to keep an eye on the points and perhaps also what your opponent's doing.
For sure.
Okay, as far as
It will be interesting to ask him about that later, perhaps.
yeah, definitely. All right, I was just taking a look at the table. I was hoping to be able to, thought I'd be able to hover over. Oh, there we go. So size four, size four. So this was a randomly generated map. That's the way the rules now work. Looks like people are putting cards out. And again, remember, these folks can pick any of the tactics cards they wish. They can take 5 of any kind. So oftentimes you're going to take ones that are affiliated with your affiliation or with particular characters that you've taken. Generally, after that, I see people take the kind of generically good ones. But I don't know if there's a bigger plan than that. Here they are spawning their tokens.
Mm-hmm.
That's Merzain's funny little one. Oop. They don't like the board, apparently.
Oof.
That one's terrible, guys. Jeez. All right, I hope you like it. And so anyway, they spawn this table randomly, but it has quite a bit of terrain on here. Loads of size 4s, loads of size 3s. Who made this map? I always like to shout out the people. It's Pat! Again, taking his own card.
Yeah, this was the map being used in the semifinals.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
It's a
where
brotherhood.
Pat played against Morgan.
It's a brotherhood. What dream here?
Magneto's favorite map,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. All right, and so here we are, the flaming portals and the hammers. The hammers overlapping 2 of the flaming portals, which, as everybody knows, is uh, gives people incinerate if they're near it.
Yes.
Okay.
So, still constructing teams.
Yeah. This does take quite a bit of time.
So, question is, I think we can be fairly certain that Merzain will be going with Panther, Killmonger, Okoye, and 2 3s. No, wait, a 3 and a 4. And then Pat will be playing Thor, Angela Valkyrie, Angela Enchantress, and either a 4 or 2 2s. The 2 2s being Widow 1 and Toad.
Well, this is it. Don't both of them want to play? Well, both of them want to play wider than the other, right? I mean, Merzain wants to go last, and I imagine Asgard wants to go last.
Mm-hmm. I could imagine Pat going with Panther as his 4 and going 4 wide because he has priority, and that would allow him to mirror his turn 1 play from the final, where he, because then he could place Angela opposite, for instance, the left or the right hammer from our point of view, and have her either move up and grab it and move back as her first activation, or allow the opponent to grab it, but then be able to move forward, throw the size 4 truck into whatever is holding it, and then do a strike, which is somewhat tough for most things to survive. Or instead of, in that case, if he doesn't go with Angela first, then he can run Panther over to the left side from seeing and grab that hammer and still have the threat of Angela left on the other side. Which is what he did in the finals, which was a very smart play.
I'm just thinking back to some of the games I've played, talking about banning 4-point characters. That happened to me, and I ended up still being able to create a 4-point character by taking two-point characters, but they were really weak. You know what I mean? They despite having 2 characters, it didn't have as much presence on the board as I would have hoped from the 4 characters that I was hoping to bring with me. So that might be going on here because he's going to have to take some 2-pointers. Well, actually, he removed the 2-pointers from Merzain as well, didn't he?
He did.
Mm. Yeah, so this is the thing.
Merzain did, however, take Okoye as his first choice. At least he has one 2-pointer. I can't remember if he got the chance to take Taskmaster at all. Because in that case, he could actually maybe get to 17 points by not playing Killmonger and instead going Panther, Taskmaster, Okoye. But I'm uncertain whether he did take Taskmaster. And apparently Pat banned his 4-pointers too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting doing that. So, like I said, it's not just the type of character that you want to get rid of, that you don't want them to be able to play with. It's sometimes just the point values, which makes it really, I found really hard to try it, because not only am I thinking about, oh, what can they do with their characters, I had to keep calculating in my head how many points they were already be able to put together or not.
Yes. And it's sort of the jury is still out on whether there is an interesting minigame through that, or if it's just another mechanism that restricts roster building, forcing you to take a certain number of 2s, for instance, and a certain number of 3s, in order to not get screwed by the step 4 bans.
Yeah, that is a brutal part of that back and forth. Although I find the second banning also pretty crucial, because that's the one where you really wipe out their ability to play affiliations by taking out 2 characters.
Yeah, but that's why you're seeing a lot of affiliation redundancy in rosters. Well, to be fair, most rosters in this invitational is running Wakanda, Asgard, and Force, which is 3 affiliations with lots of crossover.
Correct.
Other ones, of course, is I think there's some merit to Cabal, Brotherhood, and Criminals, for instance. There are a lot of crossover characters there. But perhaps not the same flexibility for extract plays.
Because the interesting thing is you have to have, generally speaking, you need to pick up 3 characters to start forming an affiliation of some sort.
Yep.
And so it becomes easy to not make that happen, to stop somebody from having that. All right, here we go. And I'm very curious. So we'll start with Merzain, since I'm on this side. Looks like we have Black Panther, Medusa, Baron Zemo, Killmonger, and Shuri.
Well, he did get Shuri in there, so he actually has an 18-point list.
Cool.
We miscalculated.
All right.
Interesting.
And then Bitter Rivals, Wakanda Forever makes sense. Disarm, Brace for Impact. Some interesting cards. He's toying around with this 5th one. I'm not sure what's going on
maybe
here.
Maybe Medpack?
Yeah, it looks like it's Medpack. It doesn't want to stay on the table. All right. Going to quickly buzz over to Pat's side of the table. And he did indeed go 4 wide, as we thought.
Yep.
Black Panther, Enchantress. Oh, just like you said. I mean, this is the finals game all over, or semifinals game all over again. He's taken Odin's Blessing, which makes sense. Disarm, one of his favorite cards. Bitter Rivals, another growingly popular card. Rainbow Bridge, very understandable. And Medpack. No need for Brace with this table. Not a lot of throwing characters. So, very interesting.
The throwing characters are on Pat's side.
Yeah, that's what I meant. So, he doesn't have to worry about his opponent. Okay, so as I'm looking at this, Pat's ended up with a roster that he would probably want to take anyway. Merzain, I mean, it's not Wakandan Wave, but it has got Medusa and Baron Zemo, lots of output and lots of movement ability.
Yeah, Pat has set himself up to have a very good chance of getting 3 hammers turn 1, which is huge on this crisis combination, because that means that he can just hold 3 hammers and camp his home secure objective, and then the pressure is all on Merzain to come forward, and he basically needs to score the middle one, which is going to put damage, put Incinerate on his characters. which is not fun when you're facing brawlers like Asgard on the other side.
Yeah. That is a good point, though, about him scoring 3 hammers. That would be brutal.
Yes, and Pat's deployment will for sure be all about making sure he achieves that. So we'll likely see ends opposite one of the two hammers on the sides, and I believe that Panther will go centrally to have the flexibility to go to either side.
So Shuri down the middle. Remember, everybody, this is the
Mhm.
line battle here in the middle. But where's Pat's first character?
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
I'm not sure. Oh, disconnection. That's why. Gotta go back in the lobby. 1 second, folks. That was weird. Mm. Mm.
You should really get some pause music.
Well, you did such a good job humming it.
Let's all go to the lobby.
All right, let me. I've made the turn the stream off for just a second so I can log back in. I thought I heard something. Here we go. All right, I think we are back. Let me turn it back on. Boom. All right. Phew. And we're back. Oh gosh, do they have to respawn
Looks
everything?
like yeah, it looks like they had to redo. Oof.
Had to start all over. Well, luckily they hadn't deployed anything. It's just going to be a bit of a
Mm.
nuisance to put everything back out again.
Yeah.
That was a major crash, though. Jeez.
Yeah, not common to see that happen.
No,
Luckily,
no, that was a real blow. Yeah, it said apparently the
they're
room is
gonna
having
pick
issues. Yeah, they're gonna do it all over. They're just gonna do it manually. They're gonna do it live. Just gonna do it.
Mhm.
Do it live.
Spawn the character trace by hand, and well, if you're gonna crash, there's for sure not a better time
Yeah,
for
no,
it.
precisely. It's a bit inconvenient for everybody here, but that's okay. The virtual table flip, yeah.
There should have been an autosave.
I think the problem, the room itself was unstable. I'm being told by the
Mm.
the great AJ P2,
All right.
and so they elected to just start over, which is probably what was going on with their cards. Remember that MedPack card did not want to.
Hmm.
What professionals? They are putting all the cards right into the
Oh,
roster
because
thing.
now they can get
Yeah, just the normal
the
rosters.
tactics cards to show up on the overlay,
Yes,
which
even
would have
better.
been
Whoa, look at this. Wow. This is what
fan
happens.
service.
Yeah, such professionals. All right. Let's see. Some cards lying around on the floor here. What a mess. Oh, did they crash again?
No, no,
Uh,
no, no, no.
Listen, doing something. I don't know what's going on tonight.
Oof, this looks bad.
Looks like it's slowly loading up. Well,
Looks like they reloaded the game mod. Question is, was that intentional or not?
yeah, I don't know. Um, anyway, I think Pat made out just fine from this banning process. Merzain, I mean, the roster seems okay, but somehow get the feeling it's a bit awkward for him.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. I can't really remember which his fifth character was. It was Killmonger, Shuri, Panther, Medusa, and a 3. Maybe Zemo?
Yes, it was Baron Zemo. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he can. What Merzain can try and turn this into a brawl game, and then dice can always be dice.
Yeah, let's think about that. So Pat is going to be looking at steel hammers and then brawl. And Merzain, he does have some control elements, but he does have a lot of more killy elements in his roster.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a strictly control list. It's a bit of a half and half list.
Which could, of course, make it more difficult for Pat to do the Panther play on one of the hammers. Because Merzain has characters that can actually, with some lucky dice, take Panther down. Probably need to be very lucky dice, or 2 characters teaming up to go after him. Medusa can, for instance, move up, strike him once, push him back towards his own lines, and then put him within charge range of Baron Zemo if he has advanced R&D, which I don't think he took.
No, he did
though.
not.
No. Okay, that makes it more difficult for the turn 1 play, that is.
Our friend Cookies pointing out that Zemo Medusa with all the double rerolls make a really nice combination. It's true.
That is very true. Yeah, because that opens up the double push for Medusa as well.
Interesting. Yes. I mean, she's almost guaranteed to have 4 attacks with that reroll.
Or 2 if she has to move.
Yep. Gosh, she's got reroll from Baron Zemo and from the Wakandan factions and Shuri. And so she's just getting it. It's just happening.
Medpack is still giving them trouble.
Yeah. Guess doesn't want to use Medpack tonight. All right. We know it's Medpack. But yes, the rest are all on the overhead display, which is wonderful. That worked out nicely.
Fantastic.
All right. Here we go. Let's try to deploy.
Seems like we're ready for deployment.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
So what will we be seeing? Panther going central, maybe?
Well, you were saying about stealing the hammers. Oh, no, let's see. Enchantress is she's gonna be on top of this cargo container. No. No, Pat toying with us. Look at him. Center. Along the center line. Medusa. Well, that's where you want her to throw people off secures, don't you?
Yes, but I suppose you could also want her for getting hammers off opponents by dazing them.
The old-fashioned way.
What? You mean actually making attacks and
yeah,
dazing stuff?
Imagine that. Huggy is referring, of course, to the so-called perfect game that happened earlier this week in the Invitational, where the winner literally made 0 attacks and won the game.
Yep.
Black Panther on the right of Pat. And counter Black Panther on the other side.
Interesting. Is there any chance we can get those little icons over the heads of the models?
I don't think I can do that.
All right.
I think that's up to those guys there, unfortunately. Let me just turn that, double check it.
Top down on. Bottom left button.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Brilliant. Thank you, guys.
Thank you to the other good doctor.
Okay. So we have Angela all the way on the left of Pat's table, Thor left of center, Enchantress right of center, Black Panther all the way on the right. We've got Killmonger and Black Panther teaming up on Merzain's left-hand side.
Yeah. And
Medusa's
it looks
center,
like
Shuri center, and Baron Zemo all
Pat
the way on the side.
is repeating his
Yes,
first move from the finals, going for the right hammer with Panther.
easily done with a double belong move and one. Roster
Almost
Doctor, it was
optimizing the
Pat who had
placement.
priority, and we're playing 18 points. Baron Zemo's going to do the same.
Yep.
The difference is Panther can tank, where Baron Zemo, he's okay at it, but Panther's better.
He is going to take a truck to the face very soon.
Okay.
The problem here is that when you pick up the hammer, you have to spend your only power, which means that you can no longer use brace for impact. Also, the hammer makes the brace 1 power more expensive.
Yeah.
So even if you have 2 power to start with, you still can't use brace. Pat is in no rush to make that move with Angela.
No.
He can save it.
Absolutely.
He can even pass at this point, should he like to.
I was just listening to his podcast this morning about first turn plays.
Mm.
I didn't see. They didn't mention just long moving and picking up stuff. They had more interesting, clever things to do, and that I think is what's coming up next. Is what he does cleverly with these characters down here now.
Yeah, that's definitely harder to predict what's going to happen to those.
The problem is with
one of them is for sure going to pick up the home hammer.
Sure. Who do you think it's going to be?
My guess would be Thor, but might as well be Enchantress. My choice would be Thor because I want Enchantress to be ready to grab hammers off the opponent's characters.
Exactly.
And you rarely want to have 2 hammers on the same character because that can very easily become a liability. That character basically gets a big target over their head. If they daze or KO and lose 2 hammers at once, that is a huge swing that can turn the game around.
So Pat's moved Angela up to attack Baron Zemo and also be within 2 of literally every one of those terrain pieces. Oop.
But first,
the truck.
Road truck.
Yeah, without a brace for impact, it's bad news.
Yep.
He did save 2 though. Lucky him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if he had saved 0, he would have gone down just from that.
Yeah,
which would have been bad for Pat actually, because then he wouldn't have had the power to pick up the hammer. Now Zemo has the power to use expert swordsman and have defensive rerolls.
Yeah. Which he does. He takes the option. We got 4 hits coming in, and
good roll by Pat, and that looks like
1 save, maybe 1 more. It's 2 is not going to be enough.
Yeah, not going to be enough. No.
It always gets reroll though, but still, 2 is not enough. He needed to save more than that.
He has all the
rerolls. Yeah,
all the rerolls with.
Of course.
There's 3. Yeah, so he's not going.
Well done. Hey, see, Baron Zemo tanking it.
The Master Swordsman saves the day.
Mm-hmm. Well spent power.
That is actually quite significant.
Yeah. Otherwise, Pat would have been really in command of this game straight away.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Because he would have lost a good character, and also gained the hammer off of him.
Yep. I don't know the odds for Zemo not getting dazed here, but I'm sure it must be more than 50% chance of him dazing.
Shuri looking to see who she can help out. Oh, this is Pat doing his placement for having successfully damaged.
Attacked.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have damage to
it's just
do
attack.
That.
Okay.
Yeah. With the Sword of Sifos. I mean, Sifos, the Sword of the Stars.
That's right. You don't have to do damage. Fair enough.
And he has placed in such a way that it will be as hard as possible for Shuri to push Angela out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because it's a push away, and so he'll be smashed right up against Baron Zemo there. Not to
Mm-hmm.
mention the little console behind him.
I suspect that Merzain now is looking at possibilities to get Shuri within 3 of Zemo, as well as firing a shot to generate 1 power and using med pack on him to prevent Thor from making a range 5 hammer attack and doing that last damage.
Sure. Yeah, and she'll be nicely up on that cargo, giving herself some.
It probably won't give the hammer to Pat, but it will be enough to make sure that Merzain doesn't get it.
Yeah. And Shuri's positioned nicely on with cover and also securing that portal.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think she's picking up that hammer because it doesn't really help her. 2 crits. He's adding those dice, and oof, not very good at all. Two hits and 2 saves.
As things stand now, I actually think that there is a decent possibility that we'll be seeing a 3-3 situation after turn 1.
3 points. Okay, gotcha.
Yes.
So there's no rerolls against Angela, isn't that right?
That is true.
Yeah, so Merzain's done with that.
So it's likely that either Merzain or no one will have the hammer on the left side. Either it stays on Zemo or it's going to end up on the ground, basically. And then Pat is obviously going to pick up the bottom hammer. Merzain is obviously going to pick up the top hammer.
Yeah.
And then Merzain has the last activation where he can unthreatened move to the middle objective to score it, taking him to 3. And then Pat will be on 3 points as well.
Yeah, and that shows you the power of having the wider roster. He gets the last move.
So the sort of swing point here is whether Zemo goes down or not, because if Zemo does go down, that actually gives Merzain the chance to take a 4-3 lead this turn.
Not sure what was going on there, that they were using the bent tool on Killmonger for some reason. Maybe he got moved by accident.
Looks like he's going to try and run for the hammer, maybe?
I was just telling the audience, I think that is a pass that Pat did, and that's why Merzain is activating again. It's going to go for the middle. Because it's not worth him to... I guess he's going after some of the higher threat characters, maybe.
He's now standing in a position where he can either attack, either make a charge early turn 2, round 2 against Black Panther, or a character that comes close to the
center.
Middle objective. Yeah. Should Pat move one of his characters there? I don't think that's likely, but...
Oh, sure enough, here's the hammer throw. He wants Baron Zemo down. Because this gets him, he loses the hammer. That's an important thing. Does it matter about trying to get Zemo out of the picture as well?
Maybe, but the big thing is that Pat is going to have priority round 2. We know that by force of him playing 1 character less. So he can put the hammer close to Angela and then activate her first and skedaddle.
Yeah. Oh, just leave. Okay.
An important thing here, or just go for the KO on Zemo.
Yeah.
To be sure.
But
an important thing here is that Pat is now, since he's likely not gonna be holding the hammer, scoring 4 points this turn. It means that he cannot play defensively for 4 turns and win by the end of round 4.
All right, that's good.
He's gonna have to score the middle point at some point in time, or play out 5 rounds.
Oh, 3 hits from Thor going into 1 shield. I guess they're checking about cover.
Yeah, looks like there might be cover there. In I don't know what the size of that piece of terrain. If it's 1 or 2.
It's
If it's
just
2,
1.
okay, then there's no cover.
And there goes. All the hits went through. And so
Yep.
Bernzemo's out. And the question is where are we putting that hammer?
Obviously out of reach of Medusa, which is why we're seeing Pat's measuring tool on her.
Oh, dear.
I'm having a hard time seeing her reach it if he puts it like basically on top of Simo next to Angela.
Yeah. So, yeah, you're making a great point. Angela is going to have enough power next turn to pick that up and then wallop on Zemo if she wishes. I didn't
I
think about
suppose
running away, though.
one option for him is to put it closer to Thor so that Thor can
Yeah.
do a for Asgard immediately as his first action round 2 to get within 1 of the hammer and close enough to do 2 attacks on Baron Zemo to hopefully KO him,
The thing
and
about
then
that,
freeing up Angela for a later activation round 2.
sure. The thing about that, though, is that puts 2 characters on the far flank where you don't need to be there anymore. And Angela's great because even if she spends her 2 actions killing that off, she's got the movement to come back into the game.
What Merzain can do to answer this is to try and put pressure on Black Panther, basically saying that, okay, you can activate Angela first and take that hammer around array, but you're going to give me at least 1 activation to go in on Black Panther with, for instance, Killmonger, or maybe Medusa with a hammer.
Yep. All right, Black Panther takes the center secure point, which leaves Enchantress, who is going to tell him to go take a walk.
Mm-hmm. I'm a bit surprised. I thought we would be seeing this as the last activation.
Mm-hmm. I guess Medusa's going to go and do the deed. The thing is that Panther moves long, so it's the worst case scenario with Enchantress's ability.
Question now is that Enchantress is going to have to pick up the hammer and stand on Pat's home objective because he doesn't want to lose out on
I see.
points, and that might make it difficult for him to be at the same time be within 3 of Panther. I don't think it will be possible.
Yeah, that's not possible. Interesting. Okay. Because you're right. Because as I was saying, Medusa was going to be able to take that center point regardless. So Merzain's going to own that center point one way or the other. And so Pat would just be losing out on hammer point and a secure point. So no bueno.
Yeah, and that actually makes that play quite smart from Merzain's side because had he, for instance, double moved up Medusa, I don't know if he can move up, grab hammer, move once again to be within 3 of Panther, setting up for a possible 4 6 dice attacks into him early round 2. If he had done that move now, then Enchantress would have been able to go up and Sirens call her away.
Yeah.
Effectively robbing her of 2 attacks. It would still make him lose out on 2 points, though. Pat, that is. So, yeah. Yeah, I think what Merzain's course of action here is try to put pressure on Pat's Black Panther. Try and get that hammer off of him.
Yeah. I was just looking at that. This size 4. Oh dear.
No.
The timeout. This size 4 terrain piece in the way, though, of making a lot of that happen.
Let's hope the crash was only on our side and not the players.
Yeah. It seemed like they were doing stuff. Not sure what's going on with TTS tonight. There we are. Okay, let me turn off the stream real quick. Boop. Wondering if the audience had any questions for us or thoughts about this.
Seems like the stuff are still on it. Oh
Oh,
no!
gosh, it's disconnected again. Wow, this would be really sad. I'll just give it a minute. I'll wait for AJ maybe to tell me. The ragamuffin streamer look.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, Thoras. Pretty much, that's all we see is ragamuffins. I think that's why we did
Ooh,
this.
shots fired, Norbert.
Oh, oh gosh, new table. All right, hang on.
Did they restart the room as well?
Yeah, they have a different room altogether. So let me.
Oh,
They having problems. Uh,
maybe letting uh, Merzain host it instead.
yeah, exactly what's happening.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see if the problem is British internet connection.
Yeah, so strange. Must be.
Take that, Brexiteers.
Yeah. Europe has just cut us off from the internet. All right, so we've got this like plain room. This is fun. Maybe we should just play backgammon
Completely
instead.
new game, yeah.
Team tournament, yes. Ladies and gentlemen who are listening, I would love you to participate in the team tournament. It is sign-ups are due, I think, by Sunday, this coming Sunday, and it'll be played on the following Saturday, so the 17th of April. These are three-person teams, three-player teams. And the interesting thing about it this year, or this time around, is that you can only use one type of card of each type across the team. So that means only one character can be used across all three players, one crisis type card, and one type of tactics card. Huggy, I think you signed up for it, right? With the Swedish
I
guys?
have.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm in a team with Rorin and Utility Cookie.
Oh, amazing. Oh, what a great team. Okay. And have you worked out your rosters yet?
Sort of. There are a couple of alternatives. For myself, I'm considering two options given whether we do get to play with the new releases or not.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find that out in 2 days' time.
Yeah.
Sources say now that those models sadly are going to be arriving at the wholesalers early next week. So out to us probably just in time for the tournament, which means not enough time for planning, sadly.
Yeah. But in good time for Season 5.
Absolutely. That's an important point. Season 5 coming up May 2nd is the sign-up deadline, so you need to sign up the week prior to May 2nd for that. But
I do want to say that I enjoyed I really think that the time is right for the there can be only one format. Yeah, the one of each cards restriction. But and particularly interesting is the crisis selection. I think because there you're actually forced to play almost all of the crisis now.
Correct. There's only one extra on the extract side. I might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I forget.
And also the sort of competition over the 2 pointers in between players.
Yeah.
So we have so the Thor activation. There are were a couple of activations behind here
Yeah.
that they're gonna have to redo.
Yep. Not too hard to do, which is good. So yes, so we have team tournament coming up April 17th, but please sign up earlier because we need that done by this coming Sunday. And also hyping up the panel discussion, which is this Saturday at 9 p.m. London time. Panel discussion will be talking about the pros and cons of the Battle Realm format and whether it should be adopted for competitive play and hence whether it should be adopted for Season 5 play. So really important decision coming up, and we have 4 distinguished players representing both sides of the argument to have a discussion on Saturday night and answer people's questions or respond to their questions. So it's a bit of a like a town hall. So we hope everyone who's listening can make it.
It will for sure be a very interesting discussion. I'm hyped.
Good. Yeah, me too. Me too. And it's been great because the players.
Regardless of what you think of the format.
Right. Exactly. It's going to be interesting, and that's why we set it up the way we did, is to have equal representation for the proponents of both sides, and all of them have been playing Battle Realm games up till now. So I wouldn't say that they're steeped in Battle Realm games, but they've gotten exposure to them by actually living through them. So they should have a lot to say with some experience behind those thoughts.
For sure.
All right. AJ, the referee, having important night, making sure everything's done cleanly and with all these technical errors, making her job harder. So thanks to her for keeping a cool head. Such a great community we have. We have players from Europe and the United States, and the referees from Australia, and ragamuffins probably from other places.
That's such a good word, ragamuffin. Is it a British word, or is it common in the US as well?
People in the US would know it, but they wouldn't use it. I don't think, unless you're at a Twitch stream, apparently.
It'll be interesting to see the second move of Nusa here. If she goes straight towards Panther, doesn't look like it.
Well, she doesn't have to deal with holding that secure any longer. So she's a free agent. She gets to do what she wants. She should do what you want.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks like that she can actually move to be within 3 of Pat's Black Panther, but he has selected not to do that.
Somehow he wants to make sure he can attack people on the middle secure. All right, a bit of a conservative play, setting himself up for next turn. With Baron Zemo out, probably not a bad idea.
Yep. He still has some pressure on Pat's Panther with Killmonger. I'm not sure though that 2 attacks into Panther will be enough to daze him. Maybe he's planning on using Wakanda Forever for a third.
Yeah.
Which, well, dice can happen for sure. But we've seen Panther tank some large amounts of damage.
Oh God, yeah.
On several occasions, so we know what he's capable of.
All right, we're sitting at 3-3, just as you predicted. And that's one loose hammer over here on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Zemo surviving Angela was definitely a spanner in the works of Pat.
Yes. But also Shuri didn't get that hit on Angela either. It's kind of screwing things up for Merzain. Probably not to more of a lesser degree. Okay, the incinerates are going out. Let's not forget. So Shuri's going to be incinerated. Merzain's Black Panther and Enchantress.
Yeah, I think Black Panther is one of the characters in the game who likes Incinerate the least
Mm.
because it's sort of, uh,
Ruins his thing. That's his.
yeah, exactly.
Whereas Shuri, if she's gonna get attacked,
He percentually loses the most,
yeah,
sort
right.
of.
So it looks like Angela has gone and is picking up that hammer as we thought, and he is not going to do the runaway play. He is going to attack. It looks like.
Yeah, going for the KO on Zemo.
Mm,
Since Pat is playing one character less than Merzain, he can afford to daze one unactivated character without losing
good point.
priority.
Great point, Huggy. Um,
That is
Benzema's
not a
not.
good,
No.
not. It's an average block by Merzain, but he needs more
Oof.
than average at this point.
That die
So
insisted on being blank. He's rolling.
looks like,
He's paying for rerolls.
yeah, he
Oh,
has.
there he
Oh,
goes. He got it.
yeah.
Two.
So only 2 damage. Yeah. Now let's remember that Pat also has a throw on Angela, which we might be seeing here. I don't know. That's a size 2 container down there. I don't know if the
Oh,
top containers
Angela
are
is
size.
so obnoxious. So first of all, she hits him. Well, she doesn't have to hit him; just attack him, and then gets to move the two. Now he's back into range of the size 2 cargo, and it's
Yep.
interesting because he moved himself so to protect himself from Shuri before. Now he's moved himself to be aggressive against Baron Zemo. It's
Yes.
just
But now
amazing.
Baron Simo can brace, which he did.
Okay, well, you had to. I mean, that's
Yeah.
just gonna happen. Now it's off the table. What are you gonna do? Now he needs to.
Um,
Yep.
you can sort of discuss that choice. Maybe it's the right option, maybe it's not, because there's
Ooh,
still a
that's
chance that Simo dies here,
yeah.
and then it's basically a wasted card.
Fair. That's
Yeah,
right. There's always that. Ooh, Angela's done a good job. She's done 6 hits.
yeah.
Oh, that's it. Goodbye, Baron Zemo. Lady Power. And she's
So
going to
now
do a
Pat
move,
has
right?
the
She's going to
option to
do these.
play. He can pay 2 to do Angelic Assassin and move short. Yeah, just gonna use that to get away from Medusa a little bit. Not straight away from her though, so she will be able to move and make attacks.
Medusa, you think?
Let's not forget she has a throw as well, so we can throw Thor and Angela into each other. But here we're seeing the Killmonger charge that we discussed earlier.
Yep. So he's going to go after Black Panther, just as you said.
Yep, trying to get the equalizer on hammers.
Killmonger's a good choice against Black Panther. I mean, without any psionic or mystic attacks on the table. Oh, that roll's not going to do it,
To be
though.
fair, I think Medusa with a hammer is better.
There's been,
But
yeah, sure. But she's
if
not.
he had moved her to the right instead of where she's now, but we might still be seeing 3 attacks, but only 1 damage from the first
Mm,
strike. It seems
yes.
he needed more.
Yes.
He does get an additional 2 dice on the second attack, though.
Mm-hmm. See, Pat hasn't put the damage on yet.
He
There you go.
has.
Now it's
Oh,
coming.
yeah. This is the second attack.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I
There's
meant.
so. And now Wakanda Forever, I think, because he just paid 1 power.
Mm-hmm.
So question is whether he can do 3 damage on 1 7 dice strike.
I don't think so. I'm gonna wager no.
Dice are dice. Things can happen, but likely no.
Ooh, 4 hits.
Ooh,
Pat's got no.
that's 4 blocks there, right there.
Oh.
Sorry, Killmonger.
Oof, that is Black Panther for you.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. I think that's done. So, Pat gonna pass? No, he can't pass.
Mm, comfortably holding 3 hammers at this point. Medusa is for sure a threat with her hammer. He could go with Thor and do a 4 Asgard on Medusa, for instance.
Yeah.
But then he opens up for a big activation from Merzain's Black Panther, backed up by Shuri rolls.
I'm just thinking now.
And also,
Pat,
he doesn't need another hammer.
I was gonna say Pat's got hammers on Angela, Black Panther, and Enchantress. Question is, does he just hold on to them and work on a scenario game?
Mm. Yeah, he that is certainly the original game plan. Like score 4 per turn and win by the end of round 4. Now this since he only managed to score 3 turn 1, he's gonna have to score 5 at some point if he wants to win by round 4. Otherwise, the game will go to round 5, and that there's always the longer the game goes on, there's always more possibility for dice spikes and mistakes to happen.
Sure. So for
Looks
everybody
like
home,
Panther
yeah,
is
this is Pat's Black Panther. His attack to Killmonger, pushed him a little
yeah.
bit, and done a point of damage. And I guess the second attack's gonna go in now. Pat using the truck to stop the push from taking Panther out of or Killmonger out of his range. That's 4 hits. Yikes! No saves. He's doing a reroll though. No, and he's dazed. Killmonger's dazed. That was a good roll for Black Panther. Yikes!
He's mocking him, and that's the med pack on Panther.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And notice that Killmonger had an activated token on him, so this does not affect priority.
Right.
This days. So as things stand now, Pat will still have priority turn round 3, which opens up the possibility of KOing Killmonger where he stands. Should Pat wish to do so.
First it was Baron Zemo on one side of the table. Now Killmonger's getting the same treatment. All right, Merzain's moved up Medusa into range of Thor, just as you guys thought. And I guess he's going to now do some attacks.
Yeah.
And as we
said,
all
know what she's capable of, so
yeah, and
hold on to your...
well, she didn't roll the wild.
He's not what you want to see.
Does Shuri have power? She does.
Yeah.
So this is, again, a good reason to use Medusa against Thor instead of Angela, because he wouldn't be able to do these rerolls against Angela.
She has a built-in reroll herself, and Merzain is playing Wakanda, so there's a ton of rerolls there. We're still not seeing a wild.
No. He needs this wild if he's going to get anything done here. Might be an early night. There it is. Of course.
There it is. There. Rerolls, saves.
Yeah. That was a lot of rerolls.
I'm not sure. Did he move to be within 3 of Angela?
I don't think so. That doesn't look like 3. I could be wrong. All right. Second attack. Oh, Medusa, what are you doing? You need to be a hero, not a ragamuffin.
He has 3 rerolls, possibly.
Yeah. Okay. Another wild. He's gonna reroll some more.
The Inhumans reroll. He did the Wakanda reroll. Now he can do a Shuri reroll as well.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't paid power on her.
Yep. Is he going to do it?
Does he need it? Pat has only 1 block on Thor. He's considering Odin's Blessing, I think.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4 hits are going through. 1 block, so 3 damage. But what's Thor sitting on? Oh, he's already had 3. Where'd he get the 3 from? Or is this the 3?
The thing is... Thor is not carrying a hammer, so having him dazed at this point is not too big, I think.
Let's see if Odin's Blessing's going to happen. He's got loads of power, so why not? No. Woof. He lets it
He
go through.
decides to tank it and goes down.
Wow. That's interesting. Why do you think?
Yeah, I mean, um, thing is that there are several Asgard characters, both Angela and Thor, and also Hela actually, who are more difficult to take out on their injured side than on their healthy side, which basically means that the value of Odin's blessing sort of increases while they're on their injured sides.
You know what else, Huggy? He maybe didn't want him to get pushed away.
That too, and also be able to be thrown into Angela with a hair flip.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why I was wondering if he placed Medusa close enough.
I saw him use the tool whilst you were talking, and she is not within range of Angela.
Okay, so Pat is looking at Sirens calling Medusa away here. Opening up possibilities for round 3, I suppose. Panther is a threat to Pat's Enchantress, although he still has both Odin's Blessing and Brace for Impact online, because what Panther could do to Enchantress is move up, pounce into her, and then strike her once, which is quite dangerous for her.
All right.
And she's also incinerated.
Yes, that's right. Oh, not a bad roll.
And holding a hammer, so...
Yeah. Oh, yes, hammer, of course.
So
right.
he's left the secure now.
Yeah.
Which means that he is probably counting on the game going into 5 rounds, which means he doesn't have to score full speed, so to speak, from rounds 1 through 4. He needs to be at 12 points by the end of round 4, basically.
All right.
To have a...
Looks like that was Enchantress attacking Medusa. 4 hits, 1 save. He's done a couple of rerolls. And I guess now he's getting Siren's called. Into the maw of the beast.
Yeah. 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 So, this is very smart, because this makes it difficult for Panther to find an angle where he pounds, I think.
Interesting. So he's going to body block.
He can probably find it somewhere.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of space still there. But nonetheless, that means that she would be able to be hit by any one of the 3 Asgardians.
You could either Sirens call her away to sort of buy yourself some flexibility. By Sirens calling her closer, that means you're actually telegraphing to the opponent that my first activation will be Thor going to town on your Medusa. And if I don't, your Medusa is going to have a field day with my 3 characters here. Also quite dangerous if Thor would fluff his dice and leave her alive on 1, and then she's standing there with 3 characters, and we know what Medusa is capable of, so a safer play would be to Sirens call her away to make it so that she can get within 3, but then she has only at max 2 attacks, which might take out 1 character, but likely not 2, especially not with Odin's Blessing still in there.
I heard somebody disconnect, so wondering if there's another room problem.
Let's hope not.
I hope so too. But I don't see anybody moving. It hasn't timed out on me, but maybe that's only a matter of time. Oh, there's somebody moving. Pat.
Okay, back in business.
Yeah.
Um,
So
right now he's still thinking about the Siren's Call.
yeah,
Why is he measuring short though?
because the Siren's Call is just short move.
Okay, I thought it was. Oh no, I'm thinking Deception is a full movement. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So it isn't quite close enough to put him in Angela's reach. At least with her short attack, she does have range 3 attack.
Pat needs to consider here that if he commits to having to activate one of the 3 left Asgard characters first, then he can't activate Panther first to take out Killmonger, and then Killmonger will have the chance to take out Panther and get the hammer off of him. So
that is a dilemma.
Siren's calling
Away.
Medusa closer is sort of biting off more than he can chew.
Right. Very good point about Black Panther. It's a good thing you mentioned that because that makes sense. That he can't do anything about this situation on the right, so might as well take advantage of it and then neutralize Medusa.
Yes.
But he still wants to hit her with Thor.
Yeah. Thor is dazed at the moment, but then he's putting pressure on. Now he's in turn putting pressure on Merzain to activate Medusa early. Otherwise, he's telegraphing that Thor will put a hammer and giving her shock, taking her down from 6 attack dice to only her normal 5, even though she's carrying a hammer. And let's not forget that Merzain still has both Shuri and Black Panther left to activate.
Yeah.
The fact that he's not carrying more than 1 hammer, though, makes it so that he sort of needs to score his secures, and that makes it difficult to simultaneously attack Pat's characters. I suppose maybe Panther can get 1 attack into Angela and be on the bottom secure, but I don't know if that is a good move.
I was thinking the other thing. I was thinking of Black Panther coming down to Enchantress, hitting her, and then pouncing over to the flaming portal. Back in.
Yeah. Maybe he can get in behind her, hit her, and push her into the arms of Medusa, and then pounce into the objective. Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on though. This is a odd situation here with this tease of a Siren's Call.
We're seeing 1 blue hand and 1 red hand moving about, which sort of indicates that both players are in the room at least.
Yeah, that is important. There we go. We have a commitment.
Yep. Thank goodness. We have the Siren's Call, Medusa away, but still within 5 of Thor to threaten her with the hammer throw.
Yes. Okay.
And all those 3 characters in front of Medusa are Asgard affiliated, which means that they can use Odin's Blessing.
Or Rainbow Bridge, I was just thinking.
Yes, that is true.
Move forward, getting hold of her.
I don't know.
But honestly, he should be playing for secures at this point.
Did Pat pay power on Enchantress?
Did he pay for that? Yeah, I think she had 6 before. Oh, Merzain's going straight for it. Or maybe he's thinking about it. Or go there.
I suppose he could go to move up there, pounce into Enchantress, force him to use the brace, and then move back.
All right.
I'm just not sure if he does use the brace. He might just try and dodge it. Because she's not gonna die.
Yeah, but Enchantress is terrible at dodging damage. I mean, fair point. Sure. She's she takes maximum damage. She's not gonna die, but she's incinerated. Well, no, does incinerate work against dodge?
Yeah, it opens her up to. It certainly opens her up to damage from Medusa next round.
Yeah. All right, we got the attack coming in. So
an attack. Yeah, okay. So he's instead elected to do an attack and then probably pounds to
Oh,
the.
Pat rolls with the one shield. Oh,
Don't you know that's always how it happens? And then we see a push, maybe if he's placed right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Judge.
I don't know if that clears, but with the new tools, it will let us know. So he knows that's exactly as far over to the right that he can go. And, ooh, I think he squeaks through on that one. Ooh. There's AJ.
Looks like he bumps Thor. Sure.
You think? Oh, okay. All right, they're calling
bumped.
it there. I thought there was a little room still on the right, but, it's a little hard.
He could have optimized the placement of Panther slightly, I think.
Yes. Yeah, push it a little further. I guess he wanted to be on this thing. But he could have moved it a tiny bit further. It'd be interesting going back to real life about how those sort of things get resolved compared to the computer where it can be done a little more precisely. It's weird how TTS in some instances is less precise than real life, and in other instances is better.
Mm-hmm.
Shuri, moving forward, stay in the action, still securing.
Pushing Angela away.
Let's see if she can do it this time. Last time she wasn't able to pull it off. Oh my goodness, Shuri. 3 hits, no saves though, so he's mission accomplished.
And no skulls, which is what you want. Get that extra power. Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you don't want skulls? You do want a skull.
You want skull? Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
You want. You didn't get a skull, which is what you want.
Gotcha. All right. It looks like they're scoring already. Right down to business. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
6 points for Pat. And
only 2 for Merzain.
Yeah, so that should put him on 5.
So he's
there's something wrong with it.
I suppose Panther paid 2 to lower Enchantress's defense.
Okay, there we go.
But where is the damage on Enchantress? He healed it. He took 1 and he healed it. No.
Yeah. He's the Asgard ability to heal.
Yep. Because even if he doesn't have characters to activate, he still has a turn.
Correct.
Where he can use the Asgard power in between the Black Panther and the Shuri activation.
Very important for people to recognize that. Yeah, even though you don't have a character to activate, you do have a turn, and you could do things like Asgard abilities or tactics cards. That's amazing.
Which is huge for the Asgard ability in particular. And now we saw an Asgard ability used again to remove the Incinerate off of Enchantress.
Yeah. Oop.
But that doesn't mean that she has to actually disarm on Panther.
Yeah.
Probably that. Yeah. And then Panther is gonna go to town on Killmonger.
Yeah.
As we predicted. Because Pat's Panther has both a hammer and a ton of power, so there's going to be 2 6-dice strikes, probably with Mantle of the Black Panther, which means all rerolls, and then he also has a pounce, and Merzain has used his Brace for Impact, so I'm having a hard time seeing Killmonger living through this.
Oof. 4 hits against Merzain's 2 saves, so 2 through, but he's going to do some rerolls, I guess.
Yeah, at least 1. So only 1 damage there.
Nice. Killmonger tanking.
Mm-hmm.
Black Panther doing it again, I imagine. Not yet.
The 2 skulls on the initial roll there was not what Pat wanted to see. Having spent 2 on Mantle. And let's not forget that Killmonger has 4 physical defense.
Yeah, he could tank.
Yeah.
Not as good as Black Panther, but nonetheless.
Both against the axe and the pounce.
Good. There you are. 6 attacks going through. That was nasty.
Looks like Pat made a energy attack.
Yeah. Okay. To circumvent
And pay, yeah, because those are 9 dice rolled right there. So I can't remember the name of the spender energy attack on Panther, but you can spend 3 to boost it to 9 damage.
Yeah, I can't see the card right now. All right.
So he elected to do that over pouncing.
Well, I guess he wanted to guarantee to get rid of him. I can understand that.
I'm no mathematician, so I don't know which option is better, but apparently, I suppose having one big attack rather than 2 slightly lesser ones give Merzain fewer chances to reroll, and Pat still has Mantle online, so he would get to reroll on his 9 dice. Anyway, here we're seeing Medusa attacking someone. Not sure who. Maybe Enchantress, maybe Thor. Probably Enchantress would be my guess, at least, because she's carrying a hammer and has and is squishier.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's taking
Yep,
3.
there's 3 damage. And now maybe he's checking the range 3 to Thor. He can Pat is not playing with Brace, so he can hair flip throw Thor into Enchantress here.
Sure, which is something she really hates.
Indeed.
Is this the push from the attack? Yeah.
Okay, so he tries to get rid of her.
Yeah, interesting. What's going on here now? You could attack again.
Note that it looks like Merzain did not. Maybe that's a throw there.
Must be.
He pushed Enchantress into there, and then he threw Thor into Enchantress. But now I think he's thrown Thor in such a way that he can't strike him. I'm not sure that's what he wants to do.
Pat didn't roll any saves on that one.
No. So let's see.
And Thor is size 2, I imagine, so that's 3.
Yeah, so that means
boom.
Enchantress goes down, yeah, because no Odin's Blessing.
Yep, and there comes
There comes the hammer. I don't know if it's going to be close enough to Medusa.
Shuri, maybe?
Because my initial guess was that he would strike Enchantress, elect not to push her, at least, elect not to push her, and then throw Thor into her, maybe get the hammer, like now, pick it up with Medusa, and then strike Thor with a 7 dice attack with the possibility of a flurry. But
and it moves out of the way. Takes
Royal
second
Decree,
action. Yeah, Royal Decree. Excellent.
I think the push that he did on Enchantress after attacking her was the thing that made it so that he couldn't get the hammer.
Mm-hmm.
And now Thor can do it for Asgard and pick up the hammer. This was not a good payoff for Merzain, I think. Yeah. He got the hammer off of Enchantress, but Pat is bound to take it back.
Yeah. With somebody harder to kill.
Well, for sure, Medusa can tank.
Here comes the 4 Asgard.
Quite a bit, but she has already taken 2 damage, so...
4 Asgard coming in onto Medusa.
Yeah.
Thor is going to do a normal attack on it, I imagine. Not so
thing
good.
is that Pat might not even want to daze her at this point. He might just want to put the stagger on her.
Mm-hmm.
Which he does.
Yeah, wow. Boy, a stinky roll on both sides, but he managed to squeak in one hit.
So, put the stagger on her and then throw her medium into the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Could be a possibility. And then do the second attack on Panther or even Shuri. Or just move to an objective.
Yeah. Scoring points would be good. Angela's going to maybe have to do that on the back one because she's just out of play right now. Let's see. Where's Thor going to?
Throwing Medusa medium away now is basically just taking her out of the game for an entire round, which is huge.
Yeah.
Especially now that Merzain is down to 3 characters.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's just going to be another attack.
Mm-hmm.
3 hits. 2 saves, so it takes just 1 more. She's been...
The throw is still online.
Yeah.
And he can do the throw from the attack there, which he does.
He's going to toss Shuri into her.
Certainly a possibility.
Or just throw Shuri out of here.
Yeah.
No, they're going to throw Shuri into Medusa almost as far
Looks
as
like
she can
they've
go.
made a gentleman's agreement that they're allowed to measure the base on the throws because the way it's supposed to work is you have to put down the movement tool and then you move the model along the base. So if you had put the movement tool in such a way that the model misses the opponent's base, then that's tough luck.
I see. Looks like Shuri either saved it all or took 1. Not sure.
Shuri can't save when she is thrown.
Oh, right. Of course, she just takes the 1. It's Medusa who's doing it. Medusa looks like I think she took 1 more. So she's still alive, but on 1 hit point left.
Yep.
Okay. Shuri's in action. Let's see. She's going to want to take that Secure back. But Pat only has Angela left to go. Pat's going to score another 3 points minimum. If he takes Angela, he can score the back point for 4.
One cheeky move here that Merzain could do, which is actually quite hilarious, is to move Panther up to the middle point, strike Thor. What move is this? Is this...
So Shuri hit Thor for 1 point and then pushed him.
Right. And then pounds into his own Medusa, dazing her.
Oh, gosh.
Because that means that the stagger disappears for next round.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he can still pick up the hammer. Pat gets to place the hammer, though.
Yeah.
Which is a nuisance. But as things stand now, Medusa is not going to be able to do anything for the entire round 4, and that is not good for Merzain.
All right, Shuri's done. And Pat's now going to move Angela into the fray, it looks like, rather than trying to hold that back secure. So he's going to attrition this game. Yeah, she's got a hammer, so I guess she wants to swing it. Double move.
Setting up for a
throw.
So
That is a big truck.
I think we saw a med pack on Medusa, so now here comes the truck into Medusa.
Yeah, okay, that's right. Medusa went down from 5 to 2,
Yeah.
but the truck is that's 5 points of damage, and
Woof.
oh, she's back to where she started. Amazing.
Revoked that med pack.
That was a good med pack.
Yeah.
It was worth it. Like you were saying before, like wasting a brace because the guy would die anyway.
I'm not sure that's the preferred result of Merzain. He might have wanted rather had her dazed there.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have used med pack if he did.
Hmm.
But anyhow,
because now we could see, for instance, Thor activating and throwing Shuri into. Or throwing Medusa into Shuri, doing that auto 1 damage to her, dazing her, picking up her hammer, and then doing attacks into something.
all right,
We'll see. Medusa will surely go down first thing in Pat's round 4.
Looks like Black Panther attacking Thor.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not doing so well.
No, he is disarmed.
That's right.
So
just a push.
What he can hope to do is move stuff around with his push and move to a secure and score it. Because it will still be even on points this round. It'll be 9-8 from the looks of it to Pat, unless Merzain doesn't move to a secure, in which case it will be 9-7.
What is going on here? Is this the pounce?
Yeah, he's measuring a pounce.
Yep.
Into Thor.
Boink. That's interesting.
Thor is on his injured side.
Yeah. It is hard to take him out.
Yeah. Pat still has Odin's blessing.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Behind you.
Yeah. I wonder if he remembered that.
So,
I wonder if Merzain remembered that.
Odin's blessing is one of those cards that sort of increases exponentially in value the longer the game goes on.
Sure. These attack rolls are not doing so great, but he's disarmed. Fair enough, but still.
One thing to note now is that all of Merzain's 3 characters are quite close together, so Pat has a good opportunity to play bitter rivals.
Okay, that is the end of the town, end of the round, and
so no damage to Thor.
No.
Well, he
did a little bit. He did a little bit, but not enough. Nowhere near enough. But as you were saying, Merzain's not only going to score up to 7.
Yep. Yeah, and Pat will go to 9. So Pat can actually win this round if he manages to score all the points. I don't think it's likely he will succeed in scoring them all, but he can likely score enough to make the lead impregnable, impenetrable, uncatch-upable.
Impervious.
Impervious.
I don't know. Inconceivable.
Yeah. Because he still has...
so it looks like he's electing to go with Thor first. For full of power. Unassailable.
Note that...
That's not an I am.
Merzain chose to daze Enchantress before she had activated, because Pat KO'd Killmonger first thing round 3. Which would have made it so that Merzain would have had priority this round if he hadn't dazed Enchantress before she had activated.
Priority games.
So he was on a route to priority, but he gave it back by...
Who's that guy who writes all those spy novels? Clancy. Tom Clancy. He's going to write priority games next.
My immediate thought was John le Carré.
Okay.
I suppose that makes me a little bit more sophisticated than you, Norbert.
I think it makes you Swedish.
Hmm.
Uh,
John le Carré is British.
Get out.
Was British. He died earlier this year, I think.
He was British. He's
Later.
still British. He's a British corpse. Let's see. Thor is trying to figure out.
Clancy is also dead.
Is he? Oh no! When that happened? Sad. Well, does he have some successor that can write priority games? Come on. Actually, you know what? That would be the novel that the AMG studio guys put out.
Mm.
All right. Who's
There's a
attacking
Marvel
here?
novel.
This is Thor against somebody with 3 dice. So I guess it's Shuri.
Yeah. So strike Shuri.
Oof.
Elect not to throw her with the wild, I think, because you want to keep her
Yeah.
around to throw Medusa into her and daze Medusa with a throw. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so Mr. Overachiever.
Thor dice. Efficient dice.
Yeah. He's still gonna throw Medusa into Shuri because even though she's dazed, she stops. Medusa can bump into her and take 1 auto damage, which is what she needs. And
Medusa coming in to secure that point.
that hair is a nuisance.
I know. I know.
So now he can pick up the hammer with Thor,
Oh dear.
taking him to 2 hammers on Thor.
Okay.
Very dangerous.
So he's got all 4.
And then either move away or throw a hammer into Panther to shock him. Yeah, moving away is...
Yeah, he wants to preserve
the
those
safe
2
play.
hammers and still be able to score a point in the middle. Nicely done.
Yeah, and not stand next to Medusa with 2 hammers at the start of next round, where Merzain is most certainly gonna have priority.
All right, so he's got all the hammers. He's got 1 secure. You're saying he needs to secure 2.
He can, if he secures all 3, then he wins at this point. And Merzain only has 1 activation to go.
Oh boy, so if he takes out Thor,
Yeah, and
then it's off the table.
And as a matter of fact, Enchantress can always take Panther off a secure.
Let's see,
So yeah, there's actually quite a big chance that Pat will take this home already this round. We'll see if Merzain can find a way to postpone defeat with Black Panther for 1 round.
Looks like he's attacking Angela.
Mm.
Oh, Angela rolled poorly. That sounds like my Angela. It's always like that. And she gets thrown.
Whoop! Fall through the table.
Yikes. No.
No.
She's gone ghostly.
Mm.
Oop.
Or is she like flying way up in the air somewhere?
There we go. I think it's just some weirdness about my Zoom. Okay. What is going on? Oh, there's probably some lag.
Maybe he accidentally grabbed her.
Yeah, and it's stuck. He can't let go of Angela. She's glued to his hand. He's using too much crazy glue. Look, she let go. Let someone else hold him. Oh my god, how crazy is this game?
Her super glue was not dried yet.
No,
and Merzain picked her up, and
yeah. Come on now. It looks like she's almost in the right spot. She turns into this like black. He keeps trying to throw her off his hand.
Oof.
AJ's gonna have to step in here. Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
it. There you go, guys.
Yeah,
No, that's
looks like she can't be in that exact spot. Why?
you know why? Because Pat's designed this map, and it's got these secret spots. Now all the secrets are coming out. Like, I don't want people in this area here,
Oh
so
my God.
yeah, Cookie's right. She's in the void. Come on, boys, get this together. Yes. All right. See, it was a little void there, a little black hole, a little minor black hole.
You found the secret hatch.
I told you there was one. I told you.
Yeah.
Pat's devious that way. Okay. So we saw Black Panther hit Angela, and now pushed her away as part of that. He's got one more action to go. He's trying to threaten or secure, Well, is he on his good side or is he on his weak side?
Ghost Panther.
Ghost Panther. He's not injured, correct? So he could own that spot in the back over Thor.
Yes, he could.
But I don't think he can reach it.
No, because of the container there.
Yeah. Looks like he's stuck here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ghost Panther.
This is so weird.
Looks like your zoom is weird.
Yeah, the zoom. But see, they're playing around. See again.
Yeah.
Oh dear! Come on, let's get this game over with. Then these IT issues are torturous. All right.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. The game is effectively over now because Pat will now move Panther off of the point and then just move either Panther or Angela to his home objective, and that is a score of 7.
Yeah, brilliant. Just as you
Taking
predicted.
him to 16.
16-7.
Yep.
Is the final
Swing
score.
turn.
Yeah. Turn 4. Last turn turned out to be a massive one. It was going that way, but Pat paid it perfectly and was able to just pull it together. So
yeah. Pat did one of his patented key priority for the entire game and take out one character each round, so that he's slowly eating away. He was slowly eating away on Merzain's team, getting them down to 3 models at the start of round 3, which is certainly very, very hard to come back from, especially when you're already behind on extracts.
Yeah.
So Pat was in the driver's seat from the get-go. Priority is, of course, huge, but he also managed to limit Merzain's possibilities in the recruit and ban phase.
All right, for everybody at home, Huggy and I are now going to join the table and go in for some interviews. So I'll catch you over in table 7, Huggy.
Right.
Okay. And I've given you the room information if you want to join the room, the table.
Fantastic.
All right, see you over there.
It's not out of the question.
Hello, everyone. This
Hello.
Hello. Just want to say we're still streaming. Just some mind your P's, mind your Q's. Good game, gentlemen. And you persevered, and AJ as well. All three of you, congratulations for persevering through all those IT issues.
Can we give a really big round of applause to AJ for having to put up with all this crap?
Yeah.
Hooray!
Hooray!
Thank you.
I imagine you spent most.
I
of
was
the
entertained.
Most of the game was probably.
I particularly liked your pushes.
Our pushes are great.
We were remarking that AJ always gets the very difficult games to referee for some reason. Don't know why.
All the
I don't know
characters
what is
are-
happening,
Yeah.
but I dig it. I'm not upset with it.
So, have you guys finished discussing things? Because Huggy and I have some questions, if not.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
So we're going to take you back to the banning and picking phase. And we felt Pat, we've seen you with this exact same roster in the semifinals of season 4, so it felt like you were very comfortable there. But Merzain, you had an interesting set of choices to make and picked sort of a mixture of control and a killing team for your Wakanda roster. Was that by design, or did you feel like you were fenced in a bit?
No, I was pretty sure I wanted to murder people, and he took away A-Force, so I was like, well, Wakanda's gonna have to murder people now.
But you had the other option though. You had 3 affiliations to choose from, if I recall.
Yeah, I have A-Force, Wakanda, and Asgard.
Yes.
I was
Asgard is
pretty
your go-to, right?
Asgard's typically who I like to play, but I was pretty confident he was going to go Asgard pretty early, and I also figured, given the way the bands were going to go out with my first pick, Okoye, there was no way I was going to get it. I was trying to flash the A-Force and acquire Wakanda because I wanted to do Medusa reroll stuff. And I wanted to try Killmonger because Killmonger sounded fun. Killmonger disappointed me again, though.
Oh,
Once again.
yeah.
So I didn't get locked into anything other than he banned all my 4 points and I couldn't take Okoye, but
Yeah, we wanted to bring that over to Pat, actually. Pat, we've noticed now in a couple of your Battle Realm games that you have a penchant of banning 4-pointers rather than trying to get rid of the 2-pointers, which might make it harder for people to gain points. Is there a strategy behind that, or is it just coincidence?
The main thing I'm trying to do is limit roster build options so that I can predict what my opponent is taking.
Mm-hmm.
So when we were playing 18 threat, and Merzain had pretty early had Black Panther, Okoye, Killmonger, right after his second round of picking when I banned She-Hulk. So at that point, he's got 10 threat of characters in Wakanda. So he wants to add up to 18. So my ban 3 was to remove both his 5 threats, so he can't do a 5 and a 3, and one of his 2 4s. So he can't do 2 4s. So he had no clean way then with his next picks to secure an 18 threat squad that was affiliated.
Yeah. Yeah. So we were just talking about that. You finding that when you're doing the banning, do you find it's not just the type of character and what it could bring to that person's team, but also the awkwardness of the points that you're trying to enforce when you're making those choices?
Yeah, absolutely. I think your first couple of picks, you get to dictate pretty heavily the kind of characters you want to take. And so I think it is relevant to ban powerful characters you're worried about, but once the first characters are locked in, the threat value is more relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And there aren't really any characters that are worth 1 threat above their total. Maybe you could debate that, but generally speaking, I'd rather you had like a Premier 4, but you played a point down than having one of your 5s, for example.
Right. Merzain, you made the bold choice of, instead of taking a leader, you picked a multi-affiliation character, so Okoye. Obviously a good character, one that can work in any of your affiliations, but is she really that important that you want to lead with her?
I wanted to kind of probe what he would ban next.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it'd be A-Force, but if I pick Okoye, really it's just a matter of him picking who he doesn't want to play against at that point, whether it's She-Hulk or Panther. And so if he banned Panther, it would tell me he's probably more scared of the control. So I could tailor to control. But he banned She-Hulk, and I was like, okay, well, I wanted to kill people on Hammer Demons anyway, so now I can cater to a Killy Wakanda list, which I think is doable, especially on the scenario. It didn't work out, but I kind of just wanted to see where he was planning to ban things.
Sure.
And it kind of went about where I thought it would. The only surprise was banning the 2 5s and the 4, which was good. Mm-hmm. But I expected like the She-Hulk ban. I expected the power bans, Enchantress.
Sure. Yeah, some of those were towards the end of the banning process, so they became apparent pretty quickly.
Yeah,
Pat?
I think it's worth mentioning that with the 2 5s and the 4, I was especially pleased with those bans because it locked Merzain out of Asgard by getting rid of Thor, and I think Angela and Enchantress are 2 of the best characters on the Hammer's Crisis. So being able to limit his threat options and also limit powerful characters, I thought those were pretty obvious picks to me.
Okay.
Yeah, we noticed that you managed to set up the exact same round 1 play that you did in the final, Pat.
Yeah.
Of season
Yeah.
4.
And this time I was able to use a size 4 piece of terrain, right? So it was pretty strong.
Yes.
With the backup of Thor being able to help with a hammer if Angela didn't do the job, it became fairly reliable. Obviously, nothing is super reliable in MCP, but it was a pretty scary threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that, Merzain. Your last activation, round 1, was picking up a hammer with Medusa and moving her slightly to the left, or to the right from your point of view, I suppose. I was a bit surprised by that. I thought that you would move her to try and put more pressure on Pat's Black Panther, to maybe get the hammer from him if Pat elected to go first with Angela on the other side. What was the plan behind the Medusa placement there?
Half and half bait. I figured there's probably a halfway decent chance he goes for Medusa, or doesn't go too far away, maybe. If I put Medusa and Killmonger over there, I had a feeling he would just go, okay, cool. Well, I'm going to first activation run away. And now I have 2 characters locked in behind that size 4 piece of terrain. And then I have to respond to move over, and then Angela gets to run away somewhere safe. And now I'm having to play the Enchantress dance for the rest of the game, so she doesn't just pull my hammer in at a key moment. So I was like, well, it's probably better at this point to put Medusa somewhere dangerous and force engagement. Because if I let him run away with 3 hammers, it's probably not going to go very well for me. And I think it did an okay job. I mean, we engaged for most of the game. It wasn't a full runaway game.
I suppose what my thought was that if Pat goes first with Black Panther at that point, then Zemo picks up the hammer and double moves away on the other flank. But of course, Angela can probably reach him with 1 attack and a throw, perhaps.
Yeah, maybe. I kind of discounted that Zemo was going to die no matter what I did.
He lasted longer than I think you expected. I mean, he was tanking it pretty good.
Well, and I think we talked about this right before he came in. The proper play would have probably been to swap the deployment sides and put Panther, Killmonger on the Angela side, and have Zemo go 1-on-1 versus Panther on the other side. So I could potentially fight back, and Panther is a little bit more survivable than Zemo.
Very true.
But that was hindsight. I should have. You mentioned he did this in the finals. I should have noticed that because I commentated on that.
You did.
But it was 4 a.m, so maybe that's why.
Cool. I think then the only other thing that we saw a couple of interesting moves by Angela over by Baron Zemo, moving very nicely to protect yourself against Shuri, but then at the same time moving back to be in the range of terrain and using that terrain to help seal Baron Zemo's fate.
Yes, stopping it so I couldn't be pushed away.
Yes, correct. This on this side here.
Yeah. That really showed the versatility of Angela, right? Being able to get that early damage position to protect herself from pushes, then immediately flip back to throw other things.
Yeah.
Very, very strong.
Indeed.
Merzain, where did you think, had you done something differently mid-game? What would you have liked to have done differently mid-game, potentially?
It's kind of hard to say. I think the game was decided. Not decided as in the game was over, but I think he put me on the back foot with deployment, where like I said, I deployed wrong and fell victim to that early play. It puts you in a really reactive state. Maybe could have placed Medusa a little better. Maybe taken advanced R&D. I didn't use 2 of my tactics cards, so I could have probably taken better tactics cards. I think a lot of my mistakes were pre-game / pre-round 1, and then everything else is just he sets me up to knock me down like he did in this turn, and I really just have to hope he can't.
It's interesting, you guys, neither one of you actually use your tactics cards terribly much.
I was quite pleased with my restraint in using Odin's Blessing, in that I had several times when I could have used it to stop characters being dazed, but they were never necessary, because in any case, I wasn't giving up a hammer. There was a point where Enchantress dropped it, but I knew I'd be able to get it back. And I think, generally speaking, it's better to save Odin's for that really important daze or KO that gives up victory points, or where you really need that character's activation. So I could have used Odin's a couple of times, but I was personally pleased with my restraint in saving it. And Merzain will tell you I ummed and ahed about using it a couple of times. But I think I did the right thing by saving it, and I think it makes this endgame for me really reliable, where Panther basically doesn't have an out because he's never going to kill Thor with Odin's Blessing still being there.
Yeah, we were actually discussing that during the stream, that Odin's Blessing is actually a card that gets more and more valuable the longer the game goes on. And also, Asgard has quite a few characters, especially Thor and Angela, that becomes harder, becomes more tanky on the injured side, which is also something that increases the value of Odin's Blessing. The chance of it saving them from a KO is greater than the chance of saving them from a daze when they have lesser stamina on their healthy sides.
Hey, Pat.
Absolutely.
We thought it was interesting that you actually let Thor get dazed when he stood over here. Was that because you didn't want him to get pushed away by Medusa?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit at the time. Definitely, the push was really bad, and it would have meant that this is a great example, right? I could have used Odin's to stay alive,
right?
But what happens? I'm sitting with a couple of hit points left, and I'm probably here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm probably way back because I get pushed twice.
Yeah.
And then what's my activation? It's just advance forwards. Like, it's not that meaningful. So I'd rather save Odin's for a situation where it's going to massively impact the table. And that is a great example where you could argue that just avoiding the push alone is worth being dazed at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the way that the table was set up, like, Thor wasn't going to have an especially important activation. I wanted to retain priority. I just killed Zemo, I think, and I was set up to be able to kill Killmonger the next turn, so I didn't want Thor to fight anyone, really. And maybe he could have done something to Medusa, but because of the pushes, probably not. And it just didn't seem like the right time to use Odin's.
Yeah, and also this game is about points, as we're well aware of. And Thor was not carrying a hammer at the time. And obviously, Odin's is more useful for protecting a hammer at a later point in the game.
Absolutely.
So, and at that point, you were already carrying 3 hammers, so you basically didn't need another, which is what Thor perhaps could have contributed with if he would have gotten to activate that round. So he was interestingly sort of expendable.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Sure. And he's one of the ones that likes to be on his injured side anyway. Black Bolt being another example. We have a question from the audience about a priority. Do you feel that priority has a greater effect on the game because of the banning choices compared to a standard game?
What do you think about that, Merzain?
I'm not 100% sure. I feel like it definitely matters differently, and it probably, like, it depends. I think it's going to depend entirely on what scenario is being played. I think it changes a lot. I just don't know exactly how, because there's a lot of layers to it.
Yeah.
Merzain, you were the one picking secures, correct?
Right.
What were your options?
Gamma or demon?
Gamma or demons? All right.
Oh wow.
So what was your reasoning there?
I felt in my heart that hammers would get picked, and I wanted murder to happen. Demon hammers is the best murder.
AJ, are you still there? No. Maybe not. Maybe she's all the way from Australia.
Yep, the kangaroos are still here.
Any thoughts that you want to share about the game and from your perspective?
Look, I think the TTS troubles took a lot away from the seriousness of the game, so it ended up being a bit of a meme. But it was good. It was. This one didn't feel as one-sided as the other two that I've watched. This one was more about Merzain making game mistakes.
The other two Battle Realm games that you meant, is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other two kind of had a one-sided feel at the start versus this one. This one was like, okay, either one of them could do it. And then Merzain.
Okay.
Then I didn't.
Yeah.
Then you didn't. I mean, your dice didn't help. Your dice didn't help either.
I don't blame dice. I think there was plenty of mitigating factors that could have made that dice were not the problem.
No. But early on, they were a bit cold.
Yeah.
I think the way I see this game is I think there's a couple of key moments that swung it in my favor. First, obviously, is Zemo being hung out to dry and being able to daze then KO him is a huge early advantage for me. And then in order to spring that back, Merzain needed to do something aggressive. He went with Killmonger into Black Panther, backed up by Wakanda Forever, and Killmonger completely flubbed, right? And you needed to make that risky play to bring you back to parity. But because it failed, it ended up pushing you further behind, and getting Killmonger KO'd is what really kind of sealed his fate, I think.
Yeah. If I hadn't Wakanda Forever, would you have stayed? Because I was thinking
I think because of where your characters were placed, I would have stayed, because I think it's like I can manipulate priority. Basically, I just don't attack your other characters, right? And I know that Black Panther's going to activate before Killmonger, so I'm not too worried about Wakanda Forever in that case if you don't use it. You might have been able to do something clever, Black Panther, to save yourself by pushing.
Oh, we're losing Pat. Pat? Oh. Well, we may you still there, buddy?
Hello?
Yeah. We can hear you now.
Yep. Hello. I was just saying I probably would have stayed, but I don't know how it would have played out.
Before we go, this is something I was just thinking about.
Okay.
This is an overall thing for all games, because we've typically been looking for people. So like with this game, right? We chose Pat as our original host because he's in the middle to help with potential lag issues.
Correct.
I think what we learned today is the better choice is the person who has the better computer. I think that geography matters less than
CPUs.
Than the processing power of your computer, because this is my host and we're much smoother, which is not to insult people's computers by any means, but I think we've done a lot to try to get mutual hosts that are geographically located in the middle. I think we should start looking at who has the better computer going forward.
At least for a start.
Yeah. There we have it. Pat is too good idea for a good computer. Yeah.
No.
That's what you're saying. Yeah.
No.
No, my computer's real bad. I'm using my work laptop, and it's so bad that I can't run Discord at the same time. So I'm phoning in literally on my phone on Discord while I play on my computer.
You're not the only person I played like that too.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much for your time after the game. It was a pleasure to watch you both. Thanks for letting us stream it. And thanks to everybody out there who were watching along and chatting with us. Made it a nice day. And thank you to my co-host, Huggy Bear. It was a pleasure as always. Thanks for coming on with me.
That tie was amazing, Huggy.
Oh, thank you.
Everyone's complimenting his tie. I wore a special tie. Nobody says anything.
You have a really good tie, Norbert. I enjoy your tie. You're also the only tie I can see on screen. I see that you have assasornated his picture. So no one can compliment his tie.
Had enough of it.
Get yourself some better lighting, Norbert. There's a sort of a shade that makes it a bit difficult to see the tie.
Yeah, that's true.
There we go.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go.
It's my special gaming dice tie. Anyway. All right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the Invitational, and I hope to see you all on the stream soon.
See you guys.